What's going on, guys? My name is Jack. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make iPhone footage look more cinematic in 2018. 5 quick points for you. Personally, I do not make the biggest habit out of filming on iPhone, nor would I suggest that you do. However, this video is mainly towards the people who are in 2 categories. Either one, for some unfortunate reason, you were unable to get your hands on a proper camera, DSLR camera, film camera, camcorder even, whatever, and you just are dying to make some films and you want to make your iPhone footage that's looking pretty flat, pretty boring, look much better and, you know, kind of even attempt to compete with the people who can get their hands on these better cameras. Or you're in the second category where you have done it so well on the DSLR cameras that you just want to come over to something that is, in all essences of the word, worse and less high-tech than the actual cameras you've been using, but you want to succeed on a technology that is lesser just to show that you're just that good. You know what I mean? This video is going to be for you. Here is 5 tips on how you can improve the cinematicness, if that's a word, I'm not entirely sure, overall to make your iPhone footage look more cinematic. Number 1, okay guys, is going to be recording in 20 FPS. This is essential, of course, if you are coming over from the DSLRs. You already know about this particular thing right here. Recording in 24 FPS is going to make your shots look so much more sleek, so much more cinematic, so much smoother. Now, unfortunately, iPhones are by default programmed to record at 30 FPS. So, of course, there's no super, in-depth camera setting in the actual iPhone itself. So you will actually have to download an external application. But even though you have to download the external application, when you really see the capabilities of these external applications, it's so much more worth it than trying to, record in 30 FPS. For example, there's one app that I am familiar with that I've heard some of my friends who actually do film on iPhone and make a habit of creating short films from these things. And they need this app to unlock more settings. This particular app is called Filmic Pro. I believe there's a Filmic Free as well, but it just doesn't have certain features that the Filmic Pro does, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Filmic Pro is essentially adding loads and loads of different camera settings to your iPhone camera. So essentially, it gives your iPhone camera the customizability that a normal DSLR camera would have. For example, you could change the aperture, you can change the frame per second it records in, and there's loads of different actual camera settings that normally you would have absolutely no access to in the original iPhone just camera app. So of course you can imagine that, you know what I mean, if you have all these extra settings now that you have the access to, your quality of material is going to be way higher than before. You instantly have an editability to the image that you just never had before. Overall, huge pointer, 100% to really focus on getting your cinematic footage. You're going to need an app like this. Doesn't have to be this app, but play around with finding yourself an app that actually gives you certain features like Filmic Pro does. Next up on the list, guys, is going to be, of course, to use a stabilizer. Using a stabilizer is one of those key things that makes DSLR and, actual camera filming 1,000 times better. So there's no difference when you're actually using the iPhone. In fact, there's even more of a need with an iPhone to use a stabilizer because, you know what I mean? iPhones are so lightweight that the wind could blow that shit around and give a shake to it, whereas the DSLR camera, some DSLRs you may not even need a stabilizer because of things like built-in stabilization and also the sheer weight to a bigger, higher-end camera. For example, I have a less heavyweight camera. I have the Sony a6300. Personally, I use a stabilizer for it. My homie Noah, who I do the majority of my video production work with hand in hand, he's my business partner, he uses a Panasonic GH5. This particular camera does not need a stabilizer because of the sheer weight that the camera and the lens have together, and of course, the fact that it has inbuilt stabilization. Now, the iPhone is much closer to the Sony a6300 in the fact that you 100% need a stabilizer for it. You honestly don't even have to spend too much on a stabilizer. You could get a really cheap one for 20, 30 bucks, but I would definitely advise at least spending about $100 on it. A good one that I know about is the Zuan Smooth gimbal, I believe that's the word for it, or the title that it goes by, the Zuan Smooth Gimbal. I'll leave a link in the description to all of this stuff so you can go down there and click it and, you know, tell me wrong if tell me I'm wrong if I misspelt that. But I'm pretty sure it's the Zuan Smooth Gimbal. Also, like I said previously, 100% essential if you are doing lightweight camera recording, such as iPhone photography and iPhone video stuff. Next up on the list to actually make your iPhone footage look more cinematic is to use a lens, 100%. The key here is to push that iPhone quality as close as you can get to a DSLR or to any film camera, any actually higher end camera other than, of course, an iPhone camera. And there's one particularly very cool thing that you can buy for this, which is just the dopest accessory, I think. If you are going to be doing iPhone videography, get this right here or get a product similar to it. Z-Tilus, I think it's called, or the Zuhilus, or honestly, I'm not even going to try and even butcher these words anymore, but check the links in the description. Basically, all I know is, I believe it's called the Z-Tiles, something like that, Zuhilus or the Z-Tiles 4-in-1 case, the 4-in-1 lens case. So I'll put pictures on screen, image reference on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Basically, this is a case that has a wheel on the back with flippable lenses. Like I said, it's a 4-in-1, so there's 4 lenses built into this one case that you can simply flip onto your lens, right? Or you can flip these lenses rather onto where the lens is on the current iPhone, right? And it is all done by this special case, all held together. Everything is dope there. And overall, using the lens is gonna amplify your shots so much more. Just 1,000 times more, 2,000 times more, you know what I mean? Moving on to number 4, probably, this is quite a simple one. Edit your footage, guys, you know what I mean? This is a kind of, you know, bullshit one, I guess, to be honest. This is an easy step right here in making anything more cinematic. This would be one of the most chief obvious things that you probably would have thought of already, but if you haven't, hey, edit your footage, you know what I mean? Put that stuff into a video editor on the computer, which would be essential, or you could even put it into an iPhone video editor as well. But I would obviously suggest you can do more on a computer editor. So if that's you have the option to bring it over to your computer, start editing it up. Obviously, do a nice level of color correction to it, and you will be rocking with a much more cinematic looking image than you could have possibly created before. And number 5, finally, is to if you're using audio involved in this, use a microphone. Nothing puts a viewer off more than bad quality video, and you know what goes hand in hand with bad quality video? That would be bad quality audio, right? So if the audio part isn't nice for a viewer, they're not watching. If the visual part isn't nice, likewise, they're not watching. So focus on these 2 key points. iPhone microphones traditionally are not the highest quality. I'm sure you can do your research and find yourself a better microphone for your iPhones. But overall, guys, this has been 5 simple tips I could think up, basically just discussing the topic of how to make your iPhone footage more cinematic in 2018. Thank you guys for watching the video. I've been Jack, or ItsJackCole. If you enjoyed and this helped you out, like, comment, subscribe for more video production theme videos every single week here on my channel. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.